Ducky, we're live.
Oh, I think so, Cambridge. You know that.
Perfect. We have ground beef today.
And we have fresh Italian sausage.
Not to mention these roasted peppered, this thing. Anyway.
Chicken sausage.
This is chicken sausage, yes. Okay, we have a little note for you. Whether you know it or not, we are making meatballs today with spaghetti sauce. We have Italian sausage and ground beef for the meatballs. One thing that you don't know that Ducky here can tell you.
I can tell you.
Tell him about the chicken. Tell him about the chicken optional. Okay, I'll do it. You don't always have to use Italian sausage. You can actually use chicken sausage or about any type of sausage, whatever your favorite meat is. There's this smoky flavored one. They have smoky sausages like this also. This is a good point. Smoky sausages.
All types.
All types of sausages. Smoky sausages, if you can get them, you would stick in first. We're actually going to stick these in first because as soon as you got the sauce going and you stick the flavor in, you create
Flavor.
Indeed, we have multiple sausages and we will cut them up into small bits. We're about to show you how to make spaghetti sauce.
But first, we have a problem.
Oh, snappers.
Our meat is frozen.
Oh no, did we just pull this out of the freezer?
We did.
Is this not fresh?
This is not, but
I thought this was fresh.
It partially is fresh.
This must be fresh. You trying to tell me this did not come from the mill?
It's still good.
Ducky, you crazy.
Cambridge, listen to me. We can use this.
We can? How? It's frozen.
First, we must put it in some water.
Water? Hot water. Hot water, of course.
It doesn't matter as long as it...
No, it does matter.
It's cold water.
Cold water? Why would you use cold water?
It just works better.
That doesn't make sense.
It just is what it is.
Is this science?
I don't know.
We must ask Bill Nye. No, let's not. The scary freak. Meat to a pond.
Ducky Nye here, and the reason you don't want to use warm water when you thaw out your meats is because it'll grow germs on them. You need to use cold water, or else.
As my great-grandmother, Cambridge, said, set it off to the side and let it thaw. Ingredients! Sauce ingredients! Meat sauce.
Diced tomatoes.
Italian sausage sauce.
Traditional spaghetti sauce.
Extra virgin olive oil. Or any other type of corn oil you can come up with. Vegetable oil, it works too.
Minced garlic. Or any other garlic.
Celery! 4 to be precise.
Italian seasonings.
If you don't have Italian seasonings,
use oregano and basil.
bay leaves,
Fennel seed.
onion. Red onion works great. You can also use any other sort of onion.
A pinch of cinnamon. Some people don't like cinnamon, some people do. It's optional, it's up to you.
Meatball ingredients! We've got the mates. Now let's get the seasoning-like stuffs. Stuff. We've got Italian breadcrumbs. You can use normal breadcrumbs or any sort of breadcrumbs you'd like. But either way, you know how it is. You know how it is, right? Oh. So, we have also a little bit of garlic powder. We'll be using this in the stuff. And here we go with, what do you call it? Parmesan cheese! Okay, so now for the Parmesan. Oh, snappy dog! My Carlson didn't got you! Well, here comes our fennel seed. Fennel seed is very important. We'll actually be using a little bit of this inside of our sauce, too. Thank you, assistants. Please join me.
Oh, bravo!
Bravo!
First, we must get a pot. Preferably a big pot. See that one? That'll do.
After you've done this, kind of cut off the leaves, what you want to do is just, freshen off the end. You don't like that very end because it's been in the fridge for a while. So you just want to cut off the end And that doesn't look very pleasant, does it?
Oh, it's disgusting.
It actually probably tastes pretty good, but in most cases, you probably don't want to use that.
Now, we want to splash these guys with some cold water.
Clean them off, you know?
Oh, yeah. They're having a great time. Oh, that's about good. Shake them.
Now we've gotten to the point where we need to dice these suckers up. You know, you want to cut them down the side, and that's about the right size, but you just gotta trim them up to a little smaller. We're gonna fry these up, and they're gonna be really nice in a little bit of oil with some onions, and they'll go great. They're gonna add great flavor. What most people don't realize is how much flavor you got in celery. They got good texture too if you like to eat them, like, I swear. Oh.
We need some peanut butter.
Oh, I do need some peanut butter,
Put
Ducky.
some celery, put some peanut butter on there, you put some raisins, you got ants on a log. It's great fun.
Oh, I do like the ants on a log. Okay,
Okay.
This is a big one. You might need to cut these ones. These are these really large
Cut them a
ones.
few times.
Because you need these small. You don't, you know, not too big, just small.
Not too big, not too small, but pretty small.
The right size.
You can tell when you do it. You just feel it.
Yeah, you know when it's good.
Oh, great chopping. Now that you've chopped up all the celery, let's chop up this onion. Well, first you need to peel it. We've peeled most of it off. Yeah, it's good. Now, you want to take off the ends. Just get in that bugger. Okay.
We'll be needing about 3/4 of an onion.
First, plug your nose with anything. Mine's already plugged. Now, set it down. Chop it this way. Chop it this way again. Chop it this way. Cut this way. It's very tricky. See that? It's a mess. You just gotta get in it. If you're not that good like me, it's okay. Chopping onions ain't my thing, but it could be your thing. We brought in Cambridge's grandmother to give us a helpful tip on cutting onions.
Alright, so the first thing you do, we only need another fourth because we need 3/4 for this recipe. So cut it in half, toss that half. So this is what I learned. Take it from the side, stay. Cut it this direction first. Not all the way now. Just enough so it's still attached. Cut. Then turn it over on the side. This is why you want a bigger half.
Get big onions.
This direction. That way you have more small pieces to begin with. Then you take the larger pieces, and that's when you make them all small. Hate working with small onions. Why must you do this to me?
Crikey, Cambridge, your grandmother's scaring me.
Now what you need to do is take 2 tablespoons of your olive oil and put it into your big pot.
We need to take over this giant board. And then you just push it in. Getting that in there.
Put your stove on medium. And now we're gonna saute these onions up.
We either need a wooden spoon or a spatula. Preferably, I like the wooden spoon, but the spatula will do fine. Now, you just want to stir it so they don't burn too much. Just occasionally.
You want to stir these onions until they become a little opaque so you can see through them. As my grandmother says, transparent. 1 teaspoon of minced garlic is equivalent to 1 clove of garlic. We had regular garlic, we use it, but we're improving, so we're using 1 teaspoon.
Now, we need 6 teaspoons or 6... what are they called?
Cloves.
Cloves
Yeah.
of garlic.
And you want to mince those cloves up so they're small.
Really small.
And this stuff is going to cook last. You want to put it in after you've got the celery and the onion. Let's stir this together until it starts smelling really good, and you want to see those onions become a little opaque. Because we want to turn it down, but we don't want it too hot, you know? Let's keep stirring this so we can make sure they all are looking good and translucent. You can start to see that they're becoming translucent, and that's a good sign.
Now, don't forget to clean up your mess. We don't like a messy kitchen because you can't know where things are.
My grandma gets real angry if we don't clean up our messes.
Now, it's the best thing to do. It keeps your grandmothers happy, and you too. Don't forget to keep stirring your mixture. You don't want it to get, you know, too brown on one side, and oh, it's awful. Just, you want it evenly cooked throughout. We need to open these cans. No better way to do it than a can opener. Cambridge, can you give me a can opener?
Got one for you there, Ducky.
Thank you. Grazie.
Prego.
Now, the best way to open a can, stick it on there, clamp it down, and start turning. Now be careful with these edges, it's kind of sharp. Don't want to cut yourself.
Now open up another one of your cans, and then we'll open up those diced tomatoes, and then the traditional Italian favorites. After which, we'll dump these sauces into the celery and onions. Oh, I love meat. Don't you too, Ducky?
Oh, I love meat.
Luckily for us, we don't need to use the can opener all day. We have one with a lid.
Cambridge.
Oh my God,
Are
Ducky!
you a little weak today?
I learned this trick from my grandpa, and he says, "Ho, cho,
Wow, that's a miracle!
Can you believe that? You just hit it on the end and it works.
Okay, now we're putting in our last can of spaghetti sauce, or sauce. This is the traditional. It does not matter which order you do it. Just do it safe so you don't burn yourself. Don't let it splatter all over, get your white clothes all red. Ugh, it's nasty. Here we go. It's in there. Now you want to bring up the heat a little bit to let it get to a boil. Then, when it gets to bubbling, we're going to turn it down so it simmers.
Now we're going to start putting in our bay leaves. Now we just opened up this fresh can of bay leaves, and one thing you'll know is they are really strong. If you have older bay leaves, maybe you want to put in 4, but for us we only need 2 because these are nice and strong. Now let's stir in the Italian seasonings. You want about 3 to 4 tablespoons. We're just going to guesstimate it today. Good. This is going to add a lot of good flavor along with the meat, which we're about to show you how to make.
Now, I'm going to start the meatballs while Cambridge gets the sausages into the sauce.
Now we're going to start chopping up the chicken sausages. As I mentioned earlier, you don't have to use chicken sausages. In fact, my preference is turkey kielbasa. That stuff is very good for putting into your sauce. The one thing you will know is that the smoky turkey kielbasa has a very unique flavor that when stuck in early can help your sauce. With this, you need to put it in early as well because it has good flavor too. This chicken sausages has a roasted pepper and azayalalaja. It's not from Italy. It's not something I speak very well, but it is good, and that's the key. And we're chopping these up into little, bite-sized pieces, something you can chop up once more to get 2 bites out of, with a little bit of spaghetti. Now we'll stick the sausages in. Make sure you stir them in, and they're going to cook up real good inside of this sauce. They're going to be real tasty. Now that we're getting this stuff to start boiling, as you can tell, it's begun to boil. We want to turn down the heat. We're going to put it on low because you don't even need it all that high. We're going to cook this for about 4 hours. And you never want to have it boil. That boils off the flavor. right here. That's gonna be really good. So now we're gonna stick this top on a little slightly off center, because if it was on just right, it would grow too much steam. We want to let the steam off, which is why we have the fan on low.
Now we're gonna make the meatballs. First off, we need to get the meat in the bowl. So take your sausage or whatever meat. Yeah. Now, raw meat is dangerous to hold. This is raw and uncooked meat. You need to wash your hands after you've touched it. You could spread diseases and germs. It could kill you. Because we don't have as much meat as Great Paula Cambridge's recipe called for, we're going to put in a little bit less than a 1/4 cup to make up. Yep. Great stuff there. Next, we're going to add about a 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs. Now, the breadcrumbs are in the meatballs to hold them together. Otherwise, you just have some meat floating around there. That's pretty good. Sprinkle it around.
Now, let's add in some garlic powder. The recipe does call for a little bit of this stuff. I say about a tablespoon does good. That was about right. Fennel seed is a widely used thingy-mabobber. It tastes quite good and is great in your sauces and your meatballs. Oh. That will do great! It's time to add an egg and get funny with this, mate. We want to mix all these ingredients together, make them taste real good. As you can tell, we have not yet added the hamburger, at which we will be doing soon. For the time being, we are going to mix together. See, the hamburger takes longer to thaw, and we found that out the hard way, so Ducky and I decided that it would be best if we just got to work early on the sauce and meatballs, and we'll be adding in the hamburger soon. Here it comes right now. Thank you, Ducky. Now I can finish my recipe. We're gonna mix this together so we can make meatballs. Now, it's time to add fennel seeds to our sauce. It's one thing people don't really think about, but it adds good flavor. So we're gonna put about that much in. And then, a little bit of garlic powder never hurt anyone either. I mean, maybe if you don't like garlic, don't add it, but a little bit of garlic is always good. And now we're going to Ducky, who will show us how to make meatballs.
The trick is to mash up all the meat real nice.
I'll get that meat seasoned. How it's starting to look good, Ducky.
It sure is, Cambridge. Okay, the meatball size is crucial. You don't want a meatball too big, and you don't want it too small. You want to be able to bite it like twice. Twice is good. It's the right size. So, what I have here is a tablespoon. I have a tablespoon. You take it in there, you get a rough amount. Oh, look at that. That's a good size. You ball it up, and then you plop it on the pan. Now, the trick is, when you do the meatballs, you need to evenly space them out. You don't want just like a bunch of meatballs randomly spaced. You want it nice and neat. That way, you know how many you have.
Oh, Ducky, you're hogging the whole thing. Why didn't you let me in?
Walter Cambridge, you are so pushy.
I'm sorry, but this looks like so much fun.
It is.
And you're leaving me
Why
out.
don't you try?
Amazing!
Remember, about a tablespoon size.
Like that much?
That's good. You bowl it up, evenly space it out.
Evenly spaced? When there's only two, is it automatically evenly spaced?
Of course.
Oh, perfect.
But then when you get the whole pan, you want to make sure.
This stuff feels really weird. I don't think I like it.
It's because it's raw meat, my friend.
Raw meat? Ducky, why is this all raw meat? Why don't they just cook it?
We're gonna cook it.
We're gonna cook it.
We're gonna cook it at 350 degrees Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit?
That's
but we're
right.
in Britain.
We're giving this to American people, and they
Americans.
don't use the metric system. The
That's wrong.
international units.
That's wrong.
Yes, it is. It is wrong. But they will get over it someday. It's gonna bake for about 25 to 30 minutes on 350.
I thought it was 45.
Are you sure?
I'm not. We'll have to now. As I consulted my grandmother just a second ago, we resolved the issue. It's 35 to 40 minutes. Now you want to put it in at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Them stupid Americans, right? Start. Let that preheat. We'll come back in a minute and set a timer and put these bad boys in. Oh my god, what is that? Oh, snappy Dawn.
It's the real devil. Now that we have the balls formed, we're gonna stick them in the oven.
Oh,
Grazie, Cambridge.
prego. Oh, is there? And now we must set the timer. Start. Because there's a 3. Oh, okay.
Now that our oven has beeped, we have to check that the meatballs are done. So let's open up this oven. We're gonna take this out. Oh, look at these. I'm gonna put these up here. You see them juice? Ooh, baby. Now we're gonna test one by cutting it open. Take our spatula. See this one right here? Look at that. Does that look fully cooked? It does. Next, we're gonna put the meatballs in our sauce.
Grab your clippers. Pick them up. Drop them in. Now that we've got the meatballs in, it's time to start stirring them. Oh, yes, very good. Now, it's always good to have taste testers in store to try out your design. Add a little bit of mystique to it, make it a little pretty, that's always good. Nom nom. And that's how you cook spaghetti sauce. Now, one thing many of you would like to do is
Add pasta to your sauce, but we think that that is an easy thing to do, and we don't really need to show you because I could do that since I was a 4th grader.
that's because you're special, man.
You saying things, Cambridge?
I'm sorry, I'm submitting the truth. Anyway, you can use whatever type of pasta you want. My preference is bow ties because they look like fancy people.
Those are the best.
They are indeed.
The best.
So, you know, make yourself up some bow ties, stick it on the side, let people serve themselves, add a little bit of sauce. You got meatballs and sausage, and you just had a great time.
Sprinkle some Parmesan cheese on the top, and you're set
Absolutely.
to go.
What would you do without Parmesan cheese? I would go to hell if I didn't have 2 of these in my freezer. I swear to you, you need 2 Parmesan cheeses.
You might even need a 3rd.
Oh, jeez. Grab a 3rd one.
Oh.
Come on, Ducky, get one. Yes.
Even 4!
Oh my gosh,
Oh.
you need 4
You
Parmesan
need 4
cheeses.
Parmesan cheeses.
And that's right.
That's right.
Yes. No,
4!
no doubt about it.
It's the only way to go. We thank you for watching us, and...
Ducky,
What?
you forgot to mention that they can make cinnamon bread. And by cinnamon, you know I mean garlic.
That's right. If you also want to make garlic bread for your...
It's simple as gets out. Oven at 450, get bread pieces and slices of bread, butter them, add a little bit of garlic, your choosing of how much. Some people like extra, some people don't, you know, choose.
It's easy as that.
Easy as that. Just stick it in the oven, 450
Easy.
until it's brown. Perfect.
Why go out the store and buy this fake stuff?
It's nasty. That stuff is not real.
Gross.
It's gross.
You need real.
Homemade.
Real stuff. Homemade.
That's how you go.
Right.
Ducky knows.
I know.
Yeah. Ducky is Ducky. Thank you for tuning in to Gettin' Tasty.
Thank you, yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
And
See
here-
you later.
and that's what-
Arrivederci.
got Skittles, Laffy Taffy, Jolly Ranchers, and Twix. Hot cocoa, perfect for the snow. Reese, Snickers, Skittles, taste the rainbow.